This is a developing situation. We are monitoring unconfirmed reports of a serious military incident in the Strait of Hormuz, raising concerns about global oil supplies.
Breaking tonight, explosive reports are emerging from the Hormuz coast, where claims are now circulating that thousands of U.S. Special Operations personnel and support forces may have moved against a key IRGC command center in one of the most sensitive military zones on Earth. If true, this would not be just another regional clash. This would be a direct shockwave through the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point critical to global oil shipments, military deterrence, and Iran's coastal defense posture. But here's the biggest question right now. What actually happened, and what is still unverified? Stay with us, because in this video, we break down what is being claimed, what credible reporting actually supports, and why this story could have consequences far beyond the Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a narrow stretch of water. It is one of the most strategically important maritime corridors in the world. Any major military disruption here can immediately raise fears over shipping security, oil flows, naval escalation, and wider regional instability. That is exactly why these reports are drawing so much attention tonight. Because if a major IRGC coastal command node was targeted, or even temporarily disabled, the message would be enormous. Not just for Iran, not just for the United States, but for every country watching the Gulf. And the deeper we look into this story, the more serious it becomes. Here's what is being claimed in rapidly spreading reports: that a large-scale US-linked operation, described in some versions as involving up to 7,000 special operations and support personnel, moved against an IRGC command center along the Hormuz coast. Now, we need to be extremely careful here. As of now, this specific claim has not been confirmed by major credible reporting we could verify. What is confirmed is the wider reality: tensions around Hormuz, repeated security incidents, and deep concern over Iran's ability to pressure maritime traffic in the region. But if even part of these new claims turns out to be true, then this could become one of the most consequential military developments in the Gulf in recent memory. And now we get to the key question: how would an operation like this even work? To understand why this story matters, you first need to understand the battlefield. Hormuz is not important because it is big. It is important because it is narrow, strategic, and globally connected. A disruption here affects military calculations, shipping lanes, oil markets, insurance costs, and political signaling all at once. For Iran, the area represents leverage. For the United States, it represents a line that cannot easily be ignored. And that is why any claim involving an IRGC command center on this coastline instantly becomes bigger than a normal military headline. Because a command center is not just a building. It is the brain behind surveillance, coordination, maritime monitoring, and rapid response. And if the brain goes blind, the rest of the body slows down. But that still doesn't explain the most important part: how such a strike could happen before the defenders fully understood what was coming. This is where many viewers misunderstand the headline. When people hear 7,000 U.S. Special Forces, they imagine 7,000 commandos storming one target. That is almost never how operations of this scale are described. If such a figure were ever attached to a real mission, it would likely include the broader force package: special operations teams, intelligence support, electronic warfare, aviation assets, drone surveillance, medical evacuation, naval cover, communications units, and logistics. In other words, the raid force is only one part of the machine. The larger operation is what makes the smaller, elite action possible. And that means if something happened on the Hormuz coast, it would not begin with the breach. It would begin with disruption. And that brings us to the part of the story most people never think about: the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of any high-risk raid are often the difference between total success and total failure. Why? Because in those first minutes, the defenders are trying to answer one question: is this a false alarm, a limited incident, or a full-scale strike? If the defenders guess wrong, even briefly, they lose the initiative. And in an operation aimed at a command center, that is everything. A smart force would not begin by smashing the core target immediately. It would first aim to isolate it. That means interfering with communications, disrupting visibility, confusing response timing, breaking local coordination, and creating uncertainty faster than the defenders can process it. Because in modern warfare, confusion is not an accident. It is often the plan. So if the outer system is blinded first, what happens when the assault reaches the center itself? This is the moment where everything becomes brutally simple. Either the attacking force moves fast enough to dominate the command space, or the mission begins to stall. And once a mission stalls, the defenders gain the one thing they need most: time. Inside a command center, the real targets are not random rooms. They are the communications nodes, the operations terminals, the command staff, the data links, the backup systems, the internal routes that allow coordination to continue. A successful seizure would depend on speed, discipline, and synchronized movement. One team isolates entry points, another locks down communications, another controls internal movement, another secures the key intelligence rooms. And if that happens quickly enough, the defenders may still be trying to understand the scale of the assault while the center is already being controlled. But even if the target is seized, the real danger may only be beginning. If an IRGC command center on the Hormuz coast were actually compromised, the impact would go far beyond the tactical level. This would send a message about vulnerability, about deterrence, about how quickly control can collapse in one of the world's most sensitive military corridors. Markets would react to fear. Shipping companies would watch for escalation. Regional militaries would reassess the situation. And media narratives would begin shaping public perception almost instantly. That matters because in a crisis like this, the information war begins at the same time as the military one. And the first side to shape the global story can gain a major strategic advantage. But here is the question no viral headline ever answers properly. What happens after the takeover? Let's say for a moment the operation works. The command site is isolated. The communications grid is broken. The target is controlled. Now what? Do the attackers stay? Do they extract immediately? Do they hold for intelligence exploitation? Do they destroy the site and leave? Every option creates new risk. A quick exit may limit escalation but reduce strategic value. A longer stay may increase intelligence gains but expose the force to counterattack. A destructive exit may deny the enemy recovery but erase valuable data. And that is why these operations are never just about entry. They are about exit. Because in a place like Hormuz, a tactical success can still unleash a strategic crisis. And if that happens, Iran's next move becomes the most important part of the story. If a coastal IRGC node were hit, the likely response would not necessarily be immediate and obvious. Instead, it could be layered. First, restore communications. Second, assess whether this was isolated or part of something larger. Third, decide whether to answer directly, indirectly, or asymmetrically. That response could include maritime signaling, force repositioning, cyber pressure, regional messaging, or attempts to control the narrative before facts are fully clear. And that last part is crucial. Because in modern conflicts, the battle for perception moves almost as fast as the battle on the ground. Who struck first? Who lost more? Was it limited? Was it successful? Is this escalation or the start of something bigger? Those questions shape the next 24 hours. And now, we come to the three hidden factors that decide whether this scenario becomes a military masterstroke or a disaster. There are three hidden factors behind any operation like this. Number one, time. The faster the defenders lose clarity, the greater the attacker's advantage. Number two, information. The true prize may not be the site itself, but the intelligence inside it. Number three, exit strategy. Without a clean way out, even a successful raid can become a strategic trap. And this is exactly why viewers should look past the headline. Because headlines tell you the most dramatic moment. They rarely tell you the cost of what follows. So, where does that leave us tonight? At this stage, the exact claim of 7,000 U.S. Special Forces taking over an IRGC command center remains unconfirmed by the credible reporting we could verify. But the reason this story is spreading so fast is obvious. It touches the biggest fear points at once: Iran, U.S. forces, Hormuz, oil routes, regional war, and the possibility that one strike could trigger something much larger. If confirmed, it would be a major military and geopolitical shock. If not, it still shows just how combustible the Hormuz theater has become, and how quickly information, rumor, and strategy now collide in moments of crisis. If you want the truth behind the noise, stay locked in here, because this story may be far from over.